guys, Haking here, bringing you a new RE9 theory discussion video. Before I begin, remember to like and subscribe please, and yeah, we're going to try and keep this short and go through this very quickly. So yeah, I already discussed this before in my previous video, in my breakdown and that, but I want to talk about it again. This moment in the trailer where we get this look at whatever this is with the umbrella logo on it. And I theorize that this could be some sort of capsule or a coffin, something. I think this is sort of like a capsule. I think this is something that's properly come out of the ground. Maybe like I don't know, like maybe the bottom here is like some sort of like what is it? Like what your door and it slides open and it goes down again. So if this is what I think it is, if it is a capsule, that means there's something in there. And there's the umbrella logo on it, so this clearly belongs to umbrella. It looks a bit worn out and that, so it's very old. I am definitely getting sort of like flashbacks or deja vu to Resident Evil the Final Chapter movie, which is it's ironic, you know, considering, you know, they're going back to Umbrella, they're going back to Raccoon City basically, and that movie did that first, basically did that concept first. It's like, we're gonna go back to Raccoon City, we're gonna go back to the Hive, and yeah, terrible film. To be fair, like I'm not a fan of the Resident Evil movies, but they had some decent ideas that I wish they just used or done or executed better. But yeah, I'm getting vibes from this, and it's like, what's in here now? One of my theories was that maybe, you know, like Grace is a BOW, so maybe this is what Grace was inside, and Alyssa found her and rescued her. Perhaps is this a flashback, or is this something that happens during the present timeline of the game, and we're going to get to this, and the game's going to be foreshadowing some stuff, and it's going to be building and hinting at stuff, and then we get to this moment, boom, Capsule comes out, and then we get the appearance of a long lost dead character, and the big question is going to come down to, who's this character going to be? Who are they going to resurrect? Do you know what I mean? Because like I feel like I'd love to just put it in front of the camera and you guys can just see him. You're cute. Yes you are. Yes you are. Yes, you are. So what was I saying before I lost track? Right, got the coffin. So yeah, are we going to get the reveal of a long lost dead character perhaps? Like, who could it be? I'm also getting like Devil May Cry 5 vibes from this. You know how they kept hinting at Virgil coming back? And by the time you get to like the final trailer, whatever, they give you this little hint of him. Like you don't see his full face, but you get a little hint, and it's like, yeah, Virgil's gonna be back by the end of this game. So I'm wondering if Capcom is trying to do the same thing here with Resident Evil 9. They're gonna bring a character back, but what character could realistically make sense to bring back? Who could be in here? If this is a capsule and someone's in here, and it's not a BOW, it's not some creature, it is a character. Who makes the most sense to bring back?
He called himself a ghost, but
he found a way back from the beach just so he could kill us.
He said he came back to get revenge on you and me. Hey, brother.
Now, at number one, I'm going to say Spencer. Makes the most sense. You know, you're bringing Spencer back. You're going to revive him. How does that happen? I don't know. You know, his death always felt weird to me in Resident Evil 5. Like, we finally get Spencer, and then he dies in like 3 minutes of the 3 minutes of screen time at Wesker's hands, which is, it's a cliche. You know, you've got the monster killing its creator. Like, it's such a cliche. It's a cool scene, but at the same time, it's like, that's it? All this build-up of Spencer, and that's all we get after all these years? Are you kidding me? This guy was like the man behind the scenes. He was the OG villain of Umbrella and everything, and you kill him off in a little ass cutscene to tie that entire loose end up. Like, no, you don't do that. That was terrible. That was very terrible. I never really liked it. So I'm kind of hoping this is a case where it's like, oh no, they took his body and they're reviving him, and he's going to come back at the end of this game. And Leon is finally going to face him. He's going to face the true evil of Umbrella, and he's going to take it out. And then, but he's going to die as well. Like, I'm hoping that's kind of what they're going to do with this. Fingers crossed. At number 2, and this is just me fanboying here, I would love it to be Albert Wesker. Like, I would love this idea of finally getting this RE game where Leon meets and confronts Wesker. That would be so bloody dope. And Wesker just kicks the crap out of him. He kicks the crap out of Leon, and Ada has to come in and save him. and they have to escape, and they deal with all the other villains and that, but Wesker is the one that lives and survives. The thing with this is right, that Wesker, Albert Wesker, technically speaking, is alive. I know a lot of people are gonna be like, no, he's dead. He's not dead. He's not dead, because if you take Umbrella Corps into account, that is a canon game. Apparently that is a canon game, and not only did Dusk Golem say it's canon, because, you know, but the original leaker and the guy who knew a lot about RE, Newsbot, right, like, he even said that game was canon. So when you've got him saying it's canon, and then there's also the producer for Resident Evil. There was a producer for the game that worked on Resident Evil. He even said it was canon as well. So that you've got people saying this is canon, even from Capcom themselves. It is a canon game, which means that Albert Wesker did in fact somehow come back in that game, and he's running the Umbrella Corps behind the scenes. So he is alive. Of course, this game could come out and basically make that non-canon and reveal, oh no, he's been dead the whole time, or he's been alive but he's been regenerating the whole time. So that they could do that. They could do that. Or it could be a case that, oh no, he is alive and this is going to tie into that, and we're gonna get an explanation for that, maybe. I don't know, but like I would love it if they did this. I would love it if they did bring him back, and it would be a cool sort of setup to RE0 and Code Veronica Remake as well, because you bring Wesker back in this game and people are gonna be like, oh, this is the dude from RE4 Remake, what is going on? Like, and then we're gonna get this whole history and be like, he was dead? When? How? And then we're gonna get his backstory in Zero, we're gonna get his resurrection in Code Veronica, and then obviously that's probably gonna end up leading to eventually an RE1 remake in the RE engine, and eventually RE5 remake, which is gonna show like his original death, perhaps. And maybe they change that around a bit so they can lead that into RE9 with him coming back. Maybe. I don't know. But again, this is just speculation on my part. It's a theory. Don't take it, you know, seriously. Like, just food for thought. Third character, it could be Brandon Bailey. It could be Brandon Bailey. If this is going to connect to the connection somehow, it could be Brandon Bailey. You know, he's very old. He's very decrepit. And maybe he has to hibernate himself, basically. Like maybe they're going to do something like they did with Alexia, where like he has to preserve himself and he comes out every once in a while to run the show, and then he goes back in, sort of like what they did with what was that movie, Underworld. You know how they did Underworld with the vampire lords, and every vampire lord would sort of come out at a Pacific, like every 100 years or something, they would release one of the vampire lords and they would take over, and then they would go back to sleep again. Maybe it's sort of like this, like every few years one of the characters, they go into a capsule and they stay there for like a good year or two, and then they come out, they run the show for a few months, maybe a year, and then they go back in again, sort of keep themselves alive. Maybe this is how they are immortal, essentially. So that's a food for thought as well. At number 4, Alex Wesker, maybe. Like, if Alex Wesker is in this, she would be in Natalia's body at this point. But maybe, I don't know, maybe they come up with some plot twist and they reveal, oh no, she's taken over the body, but something went wrong maybe, and she's aging way too fast or something, so she needs to like be in there. Or maybe this is her new body and she's continuing experiments and she wants a powerful new body to put herself into, perhaps. I don't know, like, you know, maybe that's something that's going to happen, which I don't know, it wouldn't make a lot of sense because you've got that body that you wanted, that younger body you can grow old into. But maybe it's just the case, oh, they're not happy about it, maybe they want something new, perhaps. I don't know, like, I'm trying to think of characters this could be, and really those are like the only characters I can think of. Those are the only 4 characters I can think of that you could realistically bring back, and maybe it sort of ties into this, but that's really it. That's all I've got. Like, if this is a capsule, if this is a coffin, right, that's potentially could be. At number 5, I've already said this before at the beginning. At number 5, it could be Grace. It could be Grace. This could be a case that Grace was a BOW and this is where she was contained into, and Grace is going to find out the truth and it's going to be like, oh my god, this is where I came from. Maybe not. But again, food for thought. It's all speculation. It's all theories. It's fun to speculate. It's fun to theorize, and then we find out the truth and realize, oh, it wasn't that. It was all BS. Like, I don't know. I would kind of hope that Capcom's writing would be better with this game going forward, because, you know, I think back to RE5, for example, where it was so bloody obvious who the Plague Doctor was, right? I remember back in the day, I was like, nah, this won't be Jill Valentine because it's too obvious, and I kept theorizing it might be Rebecca. Okay, because you know, they kept saying they're going back to the beginning, they're bringing characters back. You know, Wesker's gonna be in it, Chris is in it, Jill's gonna be in it. So I always assumed maybe it's Rebecca in the Plague Mask, and it's gonna be revealed that she's actually evil and she was working Wesker the whole time. Like, they were going to do a little twist, and Chris was going to find Jill in the capsule, and he was going to revive her and that, like, but, no, that didn't end up happening. The character that we thought it was, it ended up being that character. And it was just so lame how they kept, like, pretty much spoiling it, like, so hard in the trailers. Like, but by the time we got the final trailer, it was so obvious who it was, and it's like, really, Capcom? Really? You're gonna spoil your own damn game like that? Like, god damn it. Like, maybe it's because people figured it out. It got to a point where it's like people and fans realized, and Capcom was like, you know what, screw it, let's just give them the obvious hint, like. But I'm hoping with this game, it's a little less obvious and better handled. Like, if this is what I think it is, I want it to be someone important that we do want sort of back, and then they do something with it. And it's not like, oh yeah, they're back and then they're dead within 10 minutes. No, like I hope this is like the middle of the game, or like the end of Act 2, and then we get this villain for the third entire act, and it's just gonna be a fun sort of like, oh wow, we're gonna be facing this character, and we're gonna be leading up to that final battle, and boom. Like, I'm hoping that's what it is. I'm hoping it's not like a last minute thing, like, oh, here you go, like last 10 minutes of the game, boom, he's back, and then he's dead. It's like, no, don't do that. Don't do that. I'm really hoping they surprise us. Fingers crossed that they do. But yeah, guys, that's my thoughts on this. Sorry if I babbled on too long, but yeah, I hope you liked this. As always, remember to like and subscribe, guys, and I shall see you when I shall see you. Take care and bye. Want to say bye, Loki? Hello, buddy. Yeah. Take care, boys. Take care.